Well, four more members of the Thai youth soccer team have been rescued from a cave today after being trapped for more than 2 weeks. Rescue workers began a second mission to free the boys and their coach, who have been stranded since June 23rd.
Divers rescued 4 of the boys yesterday. Those children were taken to a nearby hospital and are said to be in good health. Ben Tracy is in Chiang Rai, Thailand, with more on the rescue efforts.
Inside the cave, workers have been drilling holes into the rock so the rescue teams can more easily navigate the dark and wet cavern. Their efforts are paying off. This video shows the first group of boys just moments after being rescued from the cave. Within 2 minutes, they were on helicopters and flown to a hospital in Chiang Rai, where beds were lined up at the front door. So far, Thai officials say the elaborate rescue operation has gone better and faster than they expected. A source tells CBS News they have added 5 more people to the international team of 18 expert divers in hopes they can rescue the remaining boys and their coach in a shorter period of time. Here's how this dangerous rescue mission works. Each of the boys is wearing a dive mask as they enter the murky water. The children can barely see anything in front of them. They are led by a diver who is carrying their oxygen tank and guided by a rope. Another diver follows them from behind. The entire journey covers about 2.5 miles through both deep water and steep climbs. The biggest concern is a pinch point in the cave that is just 15 inches across. In that area, the boys have to separate from the divers in order to fit through and reach a small patch of dry land before going back down into the water. The Thai government says each boy, ranging in age from 11 to 16, and their 25-year-old coach was assessed and cleared by a doctor, and that the boys were made fully aware of the rescue plan, agreeing to face whatever it took to get out of the cave.
Well, Ben Tracy joins us now from Chiang Rai, Thailand. Ben, we've been talking to you since there was sun in the sky. Now it is dark. The sun has gone down. What can you tell us about the boys who have been rescued today?
Well, this has been a very successful day for phase 2 of this operation. We are told that the operation for the day is over, but they got 4 more boys out. 3 of those, we believe, are already at the hospital. The 4th one for today is on his way via helicopter. So far this is going really well. What we don't know, however, we have no word on the condition of these 4 boys that were rescued today. We are told that the 4 that were rescued yesterday are in good health, but we have not heard anything yet about the condition of the boys today.
So, Ben, what are the main concerns about these efforts as rescuers try to extract the remaining soccer players and their coach? I understand from your reporting that the coach may actually turn out to be in worse shape than some of the boys.
Yeah, so there's 2 big concerns now that you have 5 people left. You have 4 boys and the coach. The reason we believe the coach might be in the worst shape is the parents have told us that the coach basically gave all of his food and water to these boys when they first were trapped in the cave in those 9 days before the rescuers showed up. Presumably they had some sort of food on them as they were finishing soccer practice and riding their bikes. So whatever he had, he apparently gave to them. So he's apparently in pretty bad shape. The other concern is rain. It's been very fortunate. Today has been surprisingly dry here. There hasn't been really any rain at all. And the rainstorms that we did get yesterday were brief, and the officials say that they did not flood the cave again. So they're racing against time because their fear is that if tomorrow rolls around and there's a steady monsoon rain here and they can't get into the cave to get those other 5 people, that could really set back this effort. If the cave floods again, it makes the effort much harder. If it floods significantly, it can make it impossible. And then you have 5 people who are still in there, and this whole ordeal starts over.
How are rescuers deciding who comes out of the cave when?
So what we've been told by the governor, the acting governor, who is now the head of this rescue operation, he has stated that they have brought out the strongest boys first, the ones that were the most ready to do this, excuse me, to take on this challenge. So the thought was bring out the boys who have the best chance, frankly, of surviving getting out of the cave. It gives the rescuers the chance to hone their skills, to go through this a couple of times before they work their way down to the boys that might need more help. It also gives the doctors and the Navy SEALs that are in the cave with the remaining boys the time to give them more food to try to get their energy levels up. You would presume, now that we're down to the final 4 boys and the coach, that we are now in that group that I suppose they consider the weakest. So we will see what that means. We're assuming that tomorrow this operation would start up again here, and that they would go for at least 4 more, but one would think you would go for all 5 and not take the chance of waiting another day. The reason they're waiting, it's not just because it got dark here, because obviously it's dark in the cave. The reason they're waiting is they use up the oxygen that is strategically placed throughout the evacuation route in the cave. They now have to go back in and replace all of those canisters, so it's safe to go in and try to bring these boys, the remaining 4, and then the coach tomorrow. That process takes many, many hours. They say between these operations, it's going to be anywhere between 10 and 20 hours. They have been on the lower side of that. I mean, they have done this remarkably quickly. Once these divers have gone in, they've brought the boys out faster than the officials told us they would.
Ben, what's your understanding as to why some of the parents of the children who have been rescued are being kept from seeing them in person?
Yeah, they had told us all along that the first 24 hours, these boys would basically be in quarantine, that they have to go under significant medical checks. Keep in mind, they have been in this cave for 17, 18 days, depending on when they were now rescued. They are worried about the state of their immune system. So what they don't want is anybody who may have a germ, a virus, or something that could be, normally would not be a problem for a 12-year-old boy, could become a real problem if your immune system is that challenged. So they want to keep everybody away until they know what kind of condition they are in. There is some talk, and we don't know if this is true yet, but there is some talk about letting these parents see the kids, maybe through glass. There does seem to be a push to say you got to let these parents see their kids. They haven't seen them for 17 days, which obviously anybody would understand. But after everything they've gone through and everything they've now gone through to get out of that cave, priority number 1 is clearly to keep them alive.
Yeah, Ben Tracy, thanks a lot.